Today we're going to be talking about animating the old school way. So with the exception of stop-motion animation, 2D or hand-drawn animation is the oldest form of animation, dating back to things like Gertie the Dinosaur or The Sinking of the Louisiana. But with most of the equipment used on things like the Silly Symphonies sitting in a museum somewhere, how can we animate on paper in the 21st century? So there are a few things you'll need. One is a drawing utensil up to the task, almost anything will work. A 3-hole punch. I got one for like $2 at Goodwill, but it broke after a while. You can get a new one for about $15. Look around, you should have one school or office. You also need access to a 3D printer. Ask your friends. I had a friend do it for me. That was cool. The 3D printable file is in the description. You'll also need a smooth wooden board. This you will be attaching your peg bar to. I have one that measures 15 by 20 inches if you're interested. If you animate Disney style, take 4 of your fingers and insert them and kind of roll them in an over-exaggerated drumming motion. And then tip your board and look down your paper to view those 5 frames. It's okay. Now you have hole punched, animated, and possibly inked your frames. Now, how do you turn them into a digital image? I suggest one of 2 ways. You could photograph each image. If you do it that way, make sure you use a lamp. But the method I prefer is scanning each frame. If you don't have a scanner, be sure to check your library. They might have a scanner. And also make sure to get a consistent shot that each frame is on the same place as the last one on the scanner bed. If you can, try to change the file format when you're scanning, because normally it defaults to something like PDF, which is harder to work with in post because most stop-motion softwares don't like to have you importing PDF files. Sometimes I end up having to copy and paste each frame, which is really tedious, but I don't really care. I have nothing else better to do with my life. So now you have your frames, but you want to make them into a video. If you're on Mac, you want to import them into Stop-Motion Studio. That stitches them together. Or if you're kind of a stop-motion enthusiast like I am, and you have a more expensive software, you can use that. As far as Windows goes, that rhymes. As far as Windows goes, you can use any video editing software. It'll just be much, much, much harder to nail your frame rate. You can use iMovie as well, but it is impossible to nail your frame rate. It is so annoying. So if you're going to do this regularly, take it from me, shell out the couple bucks, and get Stop-Motion Studio. I think on Windows you can still get it, but it's like the iPhone version. I'm pretty sure it still works, though. It is so annoying to do it on a video editing software. Don't do it. Don't. You can, but don't. Yeah, it'll make your life easier. Anyway, any questions, comments, critiques, boasts about your awesome animation, leave in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. I remind you, explore the description, and see you next time. Come on, will you And now my hand's bleeding. Alright. See you next time.